name is Beaux Brown, and today I'm going to be showing you what the inside of a baseball looks like. Baseball is more than just the crack of the bat. How often do you go to a baseball game and focus only on the sights and sounds? You need to rather look at what makes it possible, such as how the ball is made. I believe learning this information will be beneficial to you because it is interesting. It will also help you when you are at family gatherings and people who watch sports ask you questions. You can impress them if you're not a sports fan. It also may be beneficial to you because it may spark a new passion you never knew you had otherwise. So I feel I am a credible source for this topic because throughout high school for 3 years I managed my high school's baseball team. We went to state my sophomore year and won third place and had many records broken that year by both individual players, and we broke our school's win record for our program. Also, ever since I was little, I have been fascinated by the ins and outs of the game. So today we will be covering the brief history of the baseball, each individual material inside of the baseball, and how when all materials are combined, it creates the baseball. So to understand how the modern day baseball is made, we must first cover a brief history of baseballs of years past. So Jimmy Stamp said, as you can see, the balls are made by cobblers with rubber ornaments from shoes and then were wrapped in a leather cover. If you were lucky, in some regions, sturgeon eyes were used. I thought this was interesting because for those of you that do not know, a sturgeon is a type of fish, and the eyes I thought would be more of a soft material, but I guess they're pretty hard. I just thought that was an interesting fact because I didn't assume they would use animal eyes for baseballs. Old-fashioned baseballs were also smaller than what we see today. They were 6 inches compared to today's 9, which can be partly to blame for the dead ball era because they didn't have the extra pop you need to get it out of the infield, so it would just bounce on the ground. So the first factory that actually manufactured baseballs was the Harwood & Sons factory out of Natick, Massachusetts. They started making the balls by machine in 1858, as you can see. I found it interesting that nowadays all baseballs, 80% are made in China rather than here in the United States, and the MLB doesn't even have their balls made in America. They use a Rawlings factory in Costa Rica. I think we need to get back to America's pastime, to America. So now that I have shared the history of the first baseballs, let's take a look at what material inside and outside of the baseball looks like, and then we will briefly highlight each material's importance. So I'd like to share a video from Yes Network. They are the network that broadcasts the New York Yankees games during the regular season, which I feel makes them a credible source because to broadcast a team, you have to know something about the sport. So here's that video. So now I have this diagram to kind of explain better what each material looks like. As you can see there, I've just briefly highlighted each one, but now I'm going to go into more detail. So as you can see, the cork is the first part of the baseball. It's kind of like the nucleus, I guess you could say. It's what everything else is built around. It's round, as you can see, and the next 2 layers outside of that are the red and black rubber. This is what kind of gives the ball its bounce. When you see it hit out of the ballpark or hit out of the infield, this is what makes it bounce. The wool winding kind of gives the ball its thickness. It just adds more layers. And then cotton string kind of acts like the glue for the baseball. It holds everything together. The ball is then covered with leather and it is stitched with red seams which form the figure 8 pattern that it is so well known for. So let's review what we covered in today's speech. First, we talked about the history of the baseball. We then covered each individual material inside of the baseball. And then we covered how when combined, each of those materials come together to make the ball. So the next time you're at a baseball game, remember to focus not only on what is going on in front of you, but rather on what is inside this small little ball. Thank you for watching my speech.